right, Mike. Got you 5 over up here, Mac.
Full 5x9.
I can live with that.
VA3 CJZ. Is this frequency in use?
It is now. It's all yours. Go ahead, sir.
All right, very good. Attention, all stations. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Bonsoir, tout le monde, et bienvenue. This is Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Zulu, opening the weekly amateur radio exchange group Simplex Net, AREG, for Wednesday, December 27th, 2023. This is the end of year AREG Net, and it should be a good one. And this is also week 1,580 weeks that AREG has been on the air consecutively. My name is Chuck, and my station is located in East Hamilton. This net is on every Wednesday night, starting at 8 p.m. and ending around 10 p.m. local time here on 146.430 megahertz. And since this is a simplex net, not everyone will be able to hear everyone else. And so for that reason, we also stream the net on YouTube. So people who tune in can hear stations they cannot hear on their radio, hear how their audio sounds on the air, and see their signal strength, as well as see my station layout. Just type my call into the YouTube search box and look for us live. Or tonight we are under the title AREG 1580. And finally, we ask that you please try and leave a 2-second delay, 1 or 2 seconds anyways, between transmissions to allow others to break in. Now, I have an optional question for everyone, and that's I've received a request that maybe we could move the net to 7 p.m. Start time instead of 8 p.m. And so I was thinking maybe during the cold, dark winter months, that wouldn't be a bad idea, and maybe switch back over a little later on when the daylight and warmer days are upon us. So we'll ask everyone to weigh in on that tonight. But for now, may I have check-ins for tonight's AREG?
V3 GBD.
VA3 IMW, and I think somebody doubled with KCI.
Okay, very good then. So we'll start with 3 stations, GBD, IMW, and Kilo Charlie India. So let's start off with George. Come on in, George. Victor Echo 3, Golf Bravo Delta.
I hit #1 spot. Unbelievable. Anyway, yeah. But the 7 o'clock start, I agree with that. I think that'd be pretty good, doing the 7 o'clock start.
All right. Well, I've got Al. He was the first one to mention it. Earlier, I was listening on ZOE there, and he brought that up. And so we got NFL, BMO, PDL, Charlie Echo Uniform, Golf Bravo Delta, you, George, and QU, all saying yes to the switch to 7 p.m. So I got you down for that there, George.
Thank you very much. Other than that, not much to report. No garbage tonight, because, well,
Yay!
we do it tomorrow. Other than that, not much to report, but I am going to be hanging around out here and listening.
All right, very good, George. Thanks for coming aboard. Hope you had a good Christmas. We had a quiet one here. And so you are #1 on my list. Where is that Rick guy? He's going to be upset. I hope he's feeling okay. All right, so George, we'll get back to you in a bit. And for now, let's go to VA3 IMW. Mac, come on in.
You know what, Chuck? Let's bring in Art first. VE3 KCI, he doubled with George right off the bat, so let's give him priority spot there. Did you copy him at all?
I actually heard Art just before the net started. Excuse me. Hopefully the conditions are still good. And let's bring in VE3 Kilo Charlie India. Art, come on in. How was your Christmas?
Not too bad there, Chuck. It's good to see my mom and her husband and everything. And we had our Christmas, and we have to rent a hall for them because the family gets so big. So we have to have it in the Canfield Hall. And we filled it to the brim. And otherwise than that, I've been feeling good. No cold, no nothing. I'm just getting ready to start getting my new toys hooked up. Especially that my 7100 to my 7300. You know, so it's when you get these new toys, you get that itch into you. Over.
Oh yeah, very good. Well, first of all, I'm glad you're feeling well. There are a few radio operators I've heard have fallen ill lately, and so that's good news, Art. And yes, let's get to the toys. So what you don't have any of those set up yet, but you're going to soon.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. I'm feeling reasonably well. As the old saying goes, I feel pretty good. With both hands, and all my fingers, I feel really good. So, yeah, I hope you had a good Christmas over there with your family. And, yeah, it's nice to be on the number two side for a change. Okay, get it back to you there, Chuck.
All right, very good then, Art. Yeah, I can't wait for you to get all that set up there and working for you, and hear you on the air with it. So very good then. Other than that, yeah, I'm doing a survey, and I was wondering if you would rather we keep the net starting at 8 o'clock, or if you'd prefer it to start at 7 o'clock.
Oh, we're start doing it at 7 o'clock during the winter months, and at least for when it gets nicer outside, or 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. During the darker winter months, maybe do it an hour early, and as the spring rolls around, we'll switch back over to daylight savings AREG time, and go back to 8 o'clock. So that's my proposition. So, all right then, Art. Well, thank you. I'll have you marked down as a yes for that. So thanks, buddy. We'll get back to you in a little bit. Okay.
Break.
All right. We have a break in there. Go ahead, break.
Sorry, Chuck. BA's ran a bell. My dinner bell went off. But I am curious, what are you saying in French?
I'm saying the exact same thing that I say in English. I say good evening, bonsoir tout le monde means good evening, everyone. And bienvenue means welcome.
I'm going to go in and speak French to my wife. All right. Turn it back to net. I just want to get checked in. I got to go.
Voulez-vous?
You say merci beaucoup, mademoiselle. That means thank you very much, mademoiselle.
That was kind of sexy. She won't know it, so I'll use that.
Oh, yeah. Ladies like it if you call her mademoiselle. But yeah, okay. I'll mark you down as a check-in, and you go off and find that dinner bell.
Thanks, Chuck. Enjoy the evening. Everybody else on that as well. BA Strain FL, I'm clear.
Okay, very good then. So with that, we'll go to Mr. France himself. Victor Alpha 3, Indy, Mike Whiskey. Come on in, Mac.
Oh, you have to remind me. Yeah, it's coming, but let's not talk about that right now. Anyways, it's December 27th, and we got a few more days of 2023 left on the calendar, and then we're going to be bouncing into a brand new year of fun, frivolity, and God knows what else. Anyways, your question of the day, that's an interesting one, Chuck. You recall we decontented some of our local nets slightly in order to make sure that everybody got equal time. So I'm in favor for the fact that people want to get started a little earlier with the AREG, but I would say that, at least for myself, I would be disappearing between 7:30 and 8 p.m. so I can also attend the Burlington Amateur Radio Club net and make sure I get a bean in their pot as well. So something to consider. So yeah, I'm like 60% yes, but make it notable that some folks would be moving over to the RSB repeater to say hello to Chris during that time. Anyways, other than that, I'm so enthused with the opportunity to have some downtime between Christmas and New Year's, and a little bit more. I don't go back into the office until January 3rd. And yes, there has been some talk about me going back to France somewhere around January 15th or somewhere thereafter. We'll see how that goes, but I'll turn it back to you.
Yes. I actually only caught the tail end of a conversation that involved going back, I think, the third week of January, and that's pretty much all I caught. Don't know for how long or anything else. But, oh dear. Well, yeah, eh? It's going to be, but that's pretty quick turnarounds, eh? Back and forth like that.
Well, I'm not sure what you mean quick turnaround. I came back at the end of November and had I enjoyed the month of December here in North America, but middle of January going back over. What was the issue you didn't hear?
Oh, I didn't hear for how long?
Yeah, was there like a lid trying to interfere with something?
Oh, no. I meant when I was listening one day a while ago and heard, I think you mentioned the fact of going back to, I was only just getting that conversation. I didn't hear for how long or nothing. Nothing to do with lids.
All right, QSL. We haven't. I haven't even discussed the time period of how long they want me to go back for, but I'm sure it's either going to be 3 or 4 weeks, anyways. But yeah, we got a lot of work to do, and way behind the 8 ball. A lot of design issues have come up, and the recovery is going to have to be kind of a combined effort between Ford and our activities. So yeah, design constraints have highlighted some problems there. So anyways, yeah, just going back to the time slots. You've considered that the Burlington Amateur Radio Club net runs between 7:30 and 8 p.m. Roger?
Yes, that's the other thing I wanted to mention there. Yes, it is weighing on my mind during this, but I mean, I was just sitting here minding my own business, and and then Al decided to ask or mention that he'd be able to do the whole net if we started at 7. And Pierre was also in concert with that, and then others chimed in. So yeah, I'm going to weigh all the considerations.
Yeah, QSL. As long as you don't mind a few people disappearing for a half an hour, I mean that kind of works fairly well. For that matter, it would kind of mirror what happens to Paul, VE3 PDL. He checks in and then disappears for like an hour and a half. Anyways, whatever turns out, I'm okay. If you move it back to a 7 p.m. start, you'll have me for a solid 1.5 hours with a half-hour gap. Back to you, Chuck.
Yeah, very good, very good. Well, maybe I can work my schedule. Or my not my schedule, but the AREG content schedule. Might try moving something around and try something different. But yeah, I'm going to take it all into consideration. So, are you in favor of sticking around for the 8 o'clock or the 7 o'clock start? Which would you prefer?
I'm 60% in favor of early start, knowing that I'm going to disappear between 7:30 and 8 o'clock.
All right. Well, 60% will go into the 7 p.m. column then. All right, Mac, thank you very much for all that. And let's see who else is out there. Oh, I'd also like to say hello to Wade, VA3 November Charlie Alpha, saying hello to us on the YouTube stream, as well as VE3 IUK, Bill. And so for those of you just tuning in, if you have trouble hearing all the stations, you may want to check us out on YouTube. Just put in my call, VA3CJZ, in the YouTube search box, and you can look us up live there tonight. And with that, let's see if anybody else is out there would like to check in with us tonight on the year-end Amateur Radio Exchange Group. Please come now.
VE3QU.
3 Charlie Echo Uniform.
VA3NFG.
VA3XLJ.
Okay, I got a few in there. I heard a double with Scott, so I heard, this is what I heard: QU, and then Charlie Echo Uniform, November Foxtrot Golf, and X-Ray Lima Juliet. Anyone else?
VA3NCA.
Okay, was that you doubling with QU there, Wade?
I think probably, yep.
Okay, then, very good. Okay, well, I've already got you there on the log. So let's start with you then. Sorry, VA3NCA. Come on in, Wade.
Okay, VA3CJ said VA3NCA. Sounds good. Good evening, all, and happy almost New Year. Another one in the books, I suppose, and hope everybody's Christmas was good, and hope everybody has a restful wind down of the rest of the year. Let's see. I don't know what else is going on here. Too much. Although I did have trying to put a plug in the house to hang a TV in the office, and got to the point of putting power back to it, and the breaker wouldn't set. And so for the first time I think I've ever experienced it, the little hold down in the device box split into the hot wire and grounded it out against the box. So I guess the good thing is that that's why we have breakers, and very strange. I never would have thought there's no sharp edges on those things. So that was my head scratcher today. It took too long to put an outlet in on a circuit because I had to figure out why the hell is it all shorting out every time I try and put fire to the wire. Not literally, thankfully, because there's a breaker. Anyways, as to the question of your survey there, you know what, I'm 50-50. The traditionalist in me feels like an 8 o'clock start is nice, but you know what I think is most, the biggest thing is, Chuck, are you able to make the change? Does 7 work better for you? You've got a big commitment to this and have for many, many years, and I think that should go a long way. Other than that, the conflict with the Burlington net, I guess, could be worked around. But then again, 7 o'clock's a nice time to start a net. So I'm an unhelpful fence sitter. Back to you there, Chuck, VA3NCA.
On the fence, eh? Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, it's understandable. Like you said, there are. It's not just a matter of going back 1 hour. There are a few things to consider. Um, I've been doing this, like you said, there for a good 5.5 years steady now, and yeah, well, I might try it, and see how it goes. I haven't made up my mind. I'm just doing a survey tonight, so there's no guarantee I'll be switching, but I'll take it all in, mull it over, and I'll decide after that. So, and by the way, speaking of quiet, yeah, it was quiet over here. I was just looking at the 6 o'clock news, and I thought I was looking at Toronto news. We've got shootings, we've got gang attacks, we've got all kinds of stuff happening there. Usually during the some guy jumped in Lake Ontario from Spencer Smith Park. He was being chased by someone, I think, and crazy stuff going on. Did you hear about that?
No, you know what? I've been blissfully ignorant of any outside news. I think. Wow, I wonder, is it a full moon? I guess
Yes.
people getting their crazy in for the year before they run out of a chance to fit it in for this year. I don't know. That's strange. I had not heard that at all. But maybe I should rejoin the world again and open my eyes a little bit. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, you know what? It sounds like there's a lot of people interested in 7, and so basically what it comes down for this fence sitter is I'll follow you to any time slot you want there, Chuck. And maybe I have to hunker down in my bunker here if the world gets any crazier.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what they say. Actually, last night was the full moon, so tonight's the second night of the full moon. And you know what they say: a full moon, and when it's near the end of the month, like it is now, it's December 27th. Usually things get busy. The checks come out, and people go crazy when there's a full moon. So, yeah. I remember when I used to work security down at the Royal Canal Hotel, back when it was a hotel. And we always noticed on a full moon night, and it was near the end of the month, weird stuff would happen. So there's something to that. So, anyways, Wade, well, thank you very much for your input. Do appreciate it. And we'll take it all into consideration. So we'll clear with you and get back to you in a bit. Let's move down to VE3 Quebec uniform. Scott, come on in.
Yeah, good evening. So on your consensus of a time, how about somewhere in between, maybe say 7:30ish or even quarter after 7, to start it off. It would basically you'd break up like a 15-minute check-in time, and then you'd get into your other business of the net there. So even as I say, like the 15 minutes would break up the time a bit, and it would change some time constraints on the net there. That's my info. Nothing really more for the net tonight. I got some more info on hooking up my signal link there, so hopefully I can just jump onto the other system. Jump onto the signal link there and start doing the FT8 and start getting some more contacts that way. Back to net.
Yeah, okay. Interesting there, Scott. Speaking of the signal link, I was somebody had mentioned to me, I think it was Barry ISX had mentioned that he had one installed and he loved it and this and that. And then I started doing some research, and I run a laptop here. So I run everything off my laptop. And so I looked up USB sound cards, and you can plug a microphone, you can plug a camera. I can plug my radio output where the speaker input is. I can plug that into this USB sound card, and and then it just goes through the laptop sound. And so that's what I use, and it works great. It's much cheaper and less of a headache. You just have to figure out that you want the sound to come out where, and tell it where, and then you can hear it. So you've already got the signal link, but anyone else interested there might want to try researching USB sound cards. And so with that, I've got you marked down there, Scott. And it's funny, my wife mentioned just before the net started there. She says, "Why don't you start at 7:30?" I said, "Honey, most people have a hard time telling what day of the week it is. You want me to start screwing around with half hours? Nobody's going to know." So, anyways, yeah. Plus, it's going to interfere with that Burlington net. So, I don't know. But I do thank you for your input there, Scott.
Hey, no problem. And I'll give you one more bean for the pot. I know my wife would like me done earlier, so she would probably agree on the earlier time, the 7 o'clock time, of having and then having me upstairs instead of down here playing radio all the time, and instead of me being on all these nets. So I'll give you her bean as well. My wife's call, if you haven't heard my wife's call before, her call is VA3 GFI Golf Foxtrot India, and our first name is Georgette, and she's upstairs making pizza. But she said she heard about this vote tonight, so she said throw her bean into the pot with the vote there.
Okay, then, Scott. So we'll put Georgette down, VA3 GFI, ground fault interrupt, and 7 p.m. start for her as well as you. Okay, very good. Well, I do thank you for checking in, Scott. And if you want to stick around there, and we'll get back to you in a bit. But do you have to take off anywhere?
I do for a little bit. I'm going to work on this signal link a little bit more and see if we can get her operational. I've had this thing a few days. I've seen it operational on a different radio altogether, and it was working. I can't get it working on my own radio. So we're gonna give it another old college try and see if we can get her going.
Okay, very good then. Good luck. All right. And so before we move down to our next check-in, I'd like to acknowledge VA3 FMB, Fox Mike Bravo, Wayne out in Burlington, I believe, and Bill has checked in with us on YouTube, VE3 IUK. Bill, you're in the log. Thank you very much. And Wayne, you guys are both in the log there. So very good. Oh, and Bill said he used to work for a crisis intervention center, and full moons were a wild time. And I stand corrected. Wayne, VA3FMB, is in Mississauga. Thank you for that correction, Wayne and Bill. And so now let's go to Tomas, VE3 Charlie Echo Uniform.
VE3 CJZ, VE3CU. Good evening once again there, Chuck, and everybody else on the net. And happy Wednesday night. Yes. Now I know it's Wednesday night. That's what happens on holidays. But yeah, not too much to add here, Chuck. I've been giving it some thought since I got a little bit of cash for Christmas time. I may be looking at getting another rig, maybe a 2-meter and 440 rig that's got a little more power than what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I hear you. I was shopping for one of those a while ago myself, but I couldn't afford the radio with both VHF and UHF, and so I settled on a 2-meter rig with more power. and that is the Yaesu 2980. And it puts out a total of 80 watts, and it's plenty for my needs, and quite happy with it. I do miss not having a UHF rig that does more than this measly 20 watts there. So yeah, well, do your research and make sure you before you click that you that's the one you want.
Yeah, exactly. I hear you there, Chuck. Yeah. Now, I've been QRP for quite some time, and for the nets, especially for the one on 446, and especially this net as well, it'll help quite a bit. I mean, I've got the antennas to be able to handle a little bit extra power, but yeah, that little bit extra power will definitely go a long way. But yeah, I will definitely do my research. Other than that, nothing else going on at this end there, Chuck. I'll let you continue on, and I'm going to be here right till the end of the net.
All right, very good then. Very good. And so your signal tonight is S9, and then creeps up to plus, just over S9. So good job tonight, Tom, and good audio. Just a slight bit of hissing, but that's to be expected. And so very good. Well, thanks for checking in, Tomas, and do appreciate it. And we'll get back to you soon as well. Our next check-in is Steve, Victor Alpha 3, November Foxtrot Golf. Come on in, Steve.
Good evening, Chuck, and to all on net there.
Ooh, listen to that.
What a miserable day it is out there, eh, Chuck? Just, sure it's as foggy now as it was this morning. That's all I got there for the net so far there, Chuck. I was just doing a bit of laundry there, and I heard my name coming up on the call there, so I ran in here and grabbed the mic there. Yeah, so I got to do another day shift tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll be doing it. We'll have to see how I feel when I wake up in the morning, but I think I'm still feeling a little under the weather, so it'd probably be a better idea to stay home, I would think. Anyway, back to you there, Chuck. VA3 CJZ, VA3 NFG.
Yeah, very good then, Steve. You do sound congested a little bit, to say the least, but you don't sound miserable. Usually the nighttime just before bed and when you get up in the morning is when you feel the worst, because your body is going in that slowdown mode, right? So yeah, well, good luck with that. Oh yeah, and I forgot to ask, for my survey, do you prefer the 8 o'clock start for the AREG, or would you rather a 7 o'clock start?
With my schedule, if I'm working the day shift on the Thursday, I think I would prefer the 7 o'clock schedule, because there are times when I'm still, listening in 10 to 10, 5 to 10, when I really should have shut the radio off an hour before that. Yeah, and then I would have been sleeping by that time. But yeah, no, count me in for 7 o'clock, Chuck.
Okay, I haven't counted the tally yet, but I've got you down for 7 p.m. Okay, Steve. Well, thanks for checking in, my friend. I do appreciate it, and hopefully we'll get back to you a little bit later if you're still around. Thanks again. Anything else before I move on?
No, that's probably it, Chuck. That'll probably be my 7-3 round. As soon as I finish here, I'm just going to jump in the shower and probably go to bed. So maybe we'll catch you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. When's this going to take effect? Do you think immediately? This time shift?
Well, I might try it out. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I'll let everyone know at least a few days in advance there. I'm still This is a totally, might not be a big deal for you guys, but on my end, it's a big shakeup. So I'm going to take everything into consideration.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt. Well, either way, I mean, you know, even 8 p.m.'s not a late start, right? And 10 p.m.'s a decent hour for it to finish up at. So I mean, either way, Chuck, whatever you think, buddy.
All right, Steve. Well, there you go. Thanks again. Okay, so our next person is Vanya, I do believe. But the voice didn't match. Let's try VA3XLJ. Come on in.
VA3CJZ,
There he
VA3XLJ.
is.
Hello, Chuck, and everybody on it. So I'm gonna wish everybody again like a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. A day later or 2 days later doesn't matter, anyways. So this is gonna be for me in and out. So I'm gonna just give you a quick check, and I'm gonna roll down here dishes I have to wash uh, before I join you from the basement. So I really don't have much to add other than it was a little bit busier the last couple of days or couple of weeks, but I settled us up. Uh,
Okay, Vanya, I don't know what's happened there, but you keep cutting out. You for every 1 to 2 seconds, you drop, come back, drop, come back, drop. So I don't know. Uh, Back to you.
we will see. Usually, I just try lately to take a nap before I go to work. So any of those two, it's kind of in a way. But we'll see. Whatever you guys decide, I'm good with it.
Last part was a double.
Yeah, its microphone keeps kicking out. Like I'm gonna either have to get a new one or get another one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like Max said there. I guess we keyed on each other for the last bit there. I was just telling you your mic was cutting out quite a bit, and so you prefer 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. there, Vanya?
Well, as I said, it really does not matter much to me. So
Okay.
7 or 8. I try to grab the snap as of lately. I grab the sleep before my night shift because I work 4 weeks of nights in a row, and the last two kind of tend to be a little bit more difficult than the first two. So whatever you guys decide, I'm gonna just go along with it. I'm fine either or, so it's all good on my end.
Okay, Vanya. So we'll put you down for 50-50. There you go. For all you gamblers out there, 50-50. All right, Vanya. Well, thank you very much for checking in, sir. I do wish you a good shift tonight, and I appreciate your check in.
Oh yeah, thank you, Chuck. There's no shift tonight. I was just talking about my night shift, but all is well. It's
Oh,
holidays, so 7-3, and till next Wednesday.
oh, okay. Yeah, back to the duties, household duties. Okay, very good, Vanya. Thanks again for checking in. Have a great rest of the week, my friend. We'll talk to you again soon. Hopefully, we'll hear you activating a park, maybe. Okay, so we'll clear with VA3XLJ and see if anyone else is out there would like to check in with us here on the end of year amateur radio exchange group Simplex Net. Anyone, anywhere, please come now. Okay, I'm not hearing anything, but I guess we can take this moment and go to our contestcalendar.com webpage. And so there's an ongoing contest. It's a CW QRS Christmas activity, and that will be going on straight until January 1st. Uh, so Sunday at 7 p.m., I think. We'll make it Monday morning. So There's that one. And then there's the rack winter contest, not to be confused with another winter contest. If you're looking for software, make sure it says RAC, Radio Operators of Canada, or sorry, Radio Amateurs of Canada winter contest. And that's for 2 meters, 6 meters, 10, 15, 20, 40, 80, and 160. And that is for phone and CW. And the date and time is 0 Zulu on December 30th to 23:59 Zulu, December 30th. So 24 hours for that one. A lot of people like that contest. It's a very popular winter contest because there aren't too many of them for phone. And so the next one is the Youth on the Air contest. And that's for also for sideband and CW. And the bands are 10, 15, 20, 40, and 80. And that runs 1200 Zulu, December 30th until 23:59 Zulu, December 30th. So that's a 12-hour one. Youth on the Air. When you hear young folks on there, give them a shout back. Next, we've got the original QRP contest. And very low power is 1 watt. QRP is 5. And MP, medium power, is 20. Or maximum power, 20 watts. So 1, 5, and 20 watts. And I'm sure you get more points the lower the watts you use. And so that's the original QRP contest. 1500 Zulu, December 30th to 1500 Zulu, December 31st. Next, we've got the Bogar, BOGOR, Bogar, or Bogor, Old and New contest. And that's for sideband for 10 meters, 40, and 80. Interesting name. Never heard of that one. And then we got a quick 1 hour contest for 80 meters called the AGB New Year Snowball Contest. And that's from 0 Zulu to 100 Zulu, January 1st. And so with any more contests you'd like to know about, just open up your webpage to contestcalendar.com for any and all information. All right, so with that, do we have any new check-ins for this week's Amateur Radio Exchange Group? This is Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Zulu. My name is Chuck, and I'm located near the Center Mall. Anyone, anywhere, please come now. Okay, pretty quiet out there. I hear the crickets, and I hear the crow. Okay, so listen, I've got something a little bit different tonight. I usually do on this day in history. I will a little bit later, but first, you know how we've got sayings that we say that are a little bit odd, and a lot of people don't know the origins of those sayings. Like there's an example here. So let's see now. Forgive my language here. One of them is called piss poor. Now, let's talk about the 1500s. These are old sayings from around the 1500s. Back then, people used to urine to tan animal skin. So families used to all pee in a pot, and then once a day it was taken and sold to the tannery. So if you had to do this to survive, you were piss poor. And so that's where that saying originates from. But worse than that, were the really poor folk who couldn't even afford to buy a pot. So the saying goes, they didn't have a pot to piss in, and they were the lowest of the low. So there you go. That's where that saying comes from. So the next time you're washing your hands and complain because the water temperature isn't just how you like it, think about how things used to be in the 1500s. Most people got married in June because they took their yearly bath in May, and they still smelled pretty good by June. However, since they were starting to smell, brides carried a bouquet of flowers to hide the body odor. Hence the custom today of carrying a bouquet when getting married. Speaking of taking your yearly bath in May, baths consisted of a big tub filled with hot water. The man of the house had the privilege of the nice clean water, then all the other sons and men, then the women, and finally the children. Last of all, babies. By then, the water was so dirty you could actually lose someone in it. Hence the saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And that's where that saying comes from. Here's another cool one. Houses had thatched roofs, thick straw piled high, with no wood underneath. So it was all thatch. A thatcher was someone that made hay roofs. It was the only place for animals to get warm. So all the cats and other small animals, mice, bugs, lived in the roof. When it rained, the straw became slippery, and sometimes the animals will slip and fall off the roof. Hence the saying, it's raining cats and dogs. There was nothing to stop things from falling into the house, and so this posed a real problem in the bedroom where bugs and other droppings could mess up your nice clean bed. Hence, a bed with big posts and a sheet hung over the top afforded some protection. That's how canopy beds came into existence. Now, the floor was dirt back in the 1500s. Only the wealthy had something other than dirt. Hence the saying, dirt poor. Aha! The wealthy had slate floors that would get slippery in the winter when wet, so they spread thresh or straw on the floor to help keep their footing. As the winter wore on, they added more thresh until, when you opened the door, it would all start slipping outside. A piece of wood was placed in the entranceway, hence a threshold. So that's where the threshold comes from. And then in the old days, or in those old days, they cooked in the kitchen with a big kettle that always hung over the fire. Every day they lit the fire and added things to the pot. They ate mostly vegetables and did not get much meat. They would eat the stew for dinner, leaving leftovers in the pot to get cold overnight, and then start over the next day. Sometimes stew had food in it that had been there for quite a while, hence the rhyme. Peas porridge hot, peas porridge cold. Peas porridge in the pot, 9 days old. Okay, never heard that one. So sometimes they would obtain pork, which made them feel quite special. When visitors came over, they would hang up their bacon to show it off. It was a sign of wealth that a man could bring home the bacon. And that's where that saying comes from. They would cut off a little to share with guests and would all sit around and chew the fat. There you go, another one. And so those with money had plates made of pewter. Food with high acid content caused some of the lead to leach onto the food, causing lead poisoning deaths. This happened most often with tomatoes. So for the next 400 years or so, tomatoes were considered poisonous, not knowing that the lead was leaching into the tomatoes. Aha. This is the one about the bread. Bread was divided according to status. Workers got the burnt bottom of the loaf, the family got the middle, and guests got the top, or the upper crust. And that's where that saying comes from. Now, lead cups were used to drink ale or whiskey. The combination would sometimes knock the imbibers out for a couple of days. Someone walking along the road would take them for dead and prepare them for burial. So they were laid out on the kitchen table for a couple of days, and the family would gather around and eat and drink and wait and see if they would wake up. Hence the custom holding a wake. Aha. So next, England is old and small, and the local folks started running out of places to bury people. So they would dig up coffins and would take the bones to a bone house and reuse the grave. When reopening these coffins, 1 out of 25 coffins were found to have scratch marks on the inside, and they realized they had been burying people alive. So they started to tie a string on the wrist of the corpse, lead it through the coffin and up through the ground, and tie it to a bell. Someone would have to sit out in the graveyard all night, which is called the graveyard shift, to listen for the bell. Thus, someone could be saved by the bell or was considered a dead ringer. Oh my goodness. And that's the truth. Now, whoever said history was boring? Any questions, comments, or check-ins for this evening's AREG? This is VA3CJZ.
Your research is more than phenomenal, Chuck. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, it's the end of year AREG Net. I thought I'd switch it up a little bit and throw that in the mix there. So I'm glad you enjoyed it there, Mac. Anyone else with a comment or anything like that? All right, very good. Well, I'll check the YouTube stream here, see what's happening over there. And we got Sean, VA3 Alpha Kilo India from the Philippines. Good evening or good morning, Sean. It's the morning in the Philippines. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you too, Sean. Thanks for checking in, buddy. So I'm going to add Sean to my list here. And with that, let's see if anyone else is out there would like to check in with us here on the Amateur Radio Exchange Group. Please come now. All right. So with that, let's find out how Sean is doing in the Philippines there. Hope your Christmas was well. Monsoon seasons and the such. I know. I don't know if that's this time of year or not, but or it's over with now. But nice to hear you in there, Sean. Hope all is well with you. We're good here. We're sitting at currently 6.3 degrees. Would you believe it? On December 27th, outside on my front porch, 6 degrees. Crazy. All right, so that concludes the sayings, the old sayings from the 1500s there. I thought that was pretty cool. So how about we start on this day? On this day, 148 weeks now, I've been doing this. And we start always with today's famous birthdays. And we'll start with Johannes Kepler. He was born in 1571 on December 27th, passed away in 1630, but he's a German astronomer and discovered the laws of planetary motion. Born in the Holy Roman Empire. He has a space telescope named after him. Of course, it's called the Kepler Space Telescope. Next, we've got Louis Pasteur, born on this day in 1822. He died in 1895, but he was a French bacteriologist. He invented pasteurization. He was involved with vaccinations and all kinds of bacteria-related illnesses. Born in Dole, France. Next, we've got Cyrus Eaton, born in 1883, passed away in 1979. He's not related to the Eaton stores, but he is a Canadian, and he's a Canadian American financier, industrialist, and steel magnate, born in Cumberland County, Nova Scotia. Yeah, steel was his deal. Oops. All right, so let's go to Marlene Dietrich. Some of you old folks like Art might remember Marlene Dietrich, born in 1901 on this day. And she's a German-American actress, was in a lot of the old black and white movies, especially around the wartime. And she was a singer as well. Famous song, Falling in Love Again, born in Berlin, Germany. Next, we've got Larissa Latinina, celebrating her 89th birthday today, born in 1934. Larissa is a Ukrainian gymnast and winner of the most Olympic medals in her sport. Grand total of 18 as a gymnast. So I don't think anybody's beat her yet. So she's born in Kherson, Ukraine. Happy birthday, Larissa. Let's go to 1944, December 27th. Mick Jones, English rock guitarist for Foreigner, was born. You might remember the song, I Want to Know What Love Is. He was born in Portsmouth, Hampshire, England. Oh, the hoity-toity part of the country. Next, we go to 1948, and we have Martin Birch, born on this day. He's a British sound engineer for Fleetwood Mac and Deep Purple. He's also a record producer for Whitesnake, Iron Maiden. Wow. Born in Woking, Surrey, England. He died in 2020. And next, we've got David Knopfler, born on this day in 1952. Of course, David Knopfler is a British singer-songwriter with the Dire Straits from 1977 to 1980. You remember the song Sultans of Swing. Born in Glasgow, Scotland. And we end off birthdays of famous people today with Bill Goldberg, celebrating his 57th birthday today. Born in 1966. Bill Goldberg is an American pro football player and professional wrestler. That wraps up birthdays of famous people on this day. We got any comments or questions or check-ins for this week's AREG? This is VA3CJZ. Okay, nothing heard. So moving right along, let's go back to the list here on this day. Okay, so now we go to who died today in history. And we go all the way back to 1836. Stephen F. Austin passing away. And Stephen was, he founded and helped colonize the U.S. state of Texas. And he dies of pneumonia at the age of 43. But he does get a city named after him, Austin, Texas. That's right. So he dies of pneumonia at age 43. Next, we have Gustav Eiffel. Ring a bell, Mac? He passed away on this day in 1923 at the age of 91. And Gustav Eiffel was a French engineer and architect who designed and built the Eiffel Tower. I understood he had his own personal office near the very top. Not sure about that. Maybe Mac could fill us in. Mac, is that true? Do you know any history about that?
I have no idea. All I know, the Eiffel Tower is the largest mechano set ever built. And that's all the significance I will give it.
All right. Very good then. Okay, so moving right along, we go to Lester B. Pearson, passing away in 1972 on this day. He's a Canadian diplomat, Nobel Peace Prize winner in 1957. and politician. He was prime minister between 1963 and 1968. And he's a World War I aviator, commonly known as Mike, even though his name is Lester B. But anyways, that was his flying handle, I guess. Dies of cancer at the age of 75. Continuing on with someone who's been in the military, next we've got Norman Schwarzkopf. You might remember him from Desert Storm. He actually passed away in 2012. He's a U.S. Army general and commander of coalition forces in the Gulf War. Dies of complications from pneumonia. He was a 4-star general, I do believe. That's pretty high up there. All right, moving along, we go to 2015, the year 2015. On this day, December 27th, Meadow, or Meadowlark Lemon, as he was known. His real name was Meadow. And so Meadowlark Lemon is an American basketball star with the Harlem Globetrotters from 1955 to 1980. That's 25 years. And then again, in the 1990 season was his last season, and for the Globetrotters, as well as playing with 3 other teams. He dies at the age of 83. And second from last, we have Carrie Fisher, passing away on this day in 2016. She was born in 1956, and she was an American actress. She played Princess Leia in Star Wars, and she was in When Harry Met Sally. She dies at 60, 4 days after suffering a heart attack on a flight from London to Los Angeles back in 2016. And then finally, we've got the original shock jock of the U.S. Passing away on this day in 2019, Don Imus. Don Imus was an American radio talk show host with WNBC, and he dies of complications of lung disease at 79. And he was a shock jock way before Howard Stern was. His first radio job was in 1968. So there you go. That's famous people who died on this day. Now I've got a little bit extra. I've got, if you recall, I've been putting down every last few weeks. I've been mentioning who died this year in every month. You know, I went from January, February, and so on. But I haven't done December yet, and I've only got a few of them here. Or no, do I have? Where it is? No, I don't have that. It'll be at the bottom of the list. So I've made a collection of all the famous people who died this year in 2023, and I'll run down them fairly quickly, as you've no doubtedly heard me say them in the weeks past. But we'll start with January of this year. Jeff Beck died January 10th. Of course, we know Jeff Beck as an award-winning rock guitarist. He was with the Yardbirds, Jeff Beck Group. He died of bacterial meningitis at the age of 78. January 12th of this year, Lisa Marie Presley passed away. American singer-songwriter and daughter of Elvis, dies of cardiac arrest predicated by a small bowel obstruction at the age of 54. Next, actually the very next day, January 13th of this year, Robbie Knievel, the son of Evel Knievel, passed away. He's an American motorcycle daredevil like his dad was, and he dies of pancreatic cancer at the age of 60. January 19th, David Crosby passed away from, he was originally in the Byrds, and then Crosby, Stills, and Nash. He was 81 years old. January 25th of this year, Cindy Williams passed away. from Laverne and Shirley. She was 75 years old. She was also the little annoying girl in American Graffiti with the hot rod driver there, just so you know. And then we have Bobby Hull passing away this year on January 30th. We all know he's a Hockey Hall of Famer. Passed away at the age of 84. Raquel Welch passed away February 15th. Well, all I can say is 1 million years BC was her breakout movie. February 17th, Stella Stevens, American actress. She was in the movie Girls, Girls, Girls. She was in The Nutty Professor and a few more. She dies of Alzheimer's at age 84. Jumping to March 3rd, Tom Sizemore passed away. He's an American actor. He was the sergeant in Saving Private Ryan. He was also in the movie Wyatt Earp. He dies following a brain aneurysm at the age of 61. March 9th, Robert Blake passed away. He was Beretta on TV. He was also in The Little Rascals. Way back in, the 40s, I think? 30s, 40s? He was Bobby on The Little Rascals. Dies of a heart disease at age 89. Next month, April 10th, Al Jaffe, American cartoonist with Mad Magazine from 1955 to 2020, dies at the age of 102. Okay, next, April 22nd of this year. I know some of you may have watched Dancing with the Stars. Well, the old British guy, Len Goodman, passed away on April 22. He's a British ballroom dancing champion and, of course, television personality. He was 78 years old. Jerry Springer died April 27th of this year. He's actually German-American. They have him listed here as a politician. Mayor of Cincinnati, Ohio in 1977. Oh, did not know that. And we all know the Jerry Springer Show. He was 79 years old, died of pancreatic cancer. Gordon Lightfoot passed away May 1st. We all know him as a Canadian folk singer. He was 84 years old. Jim Brown passed away this year, May 18th. He's an American College Pro Football Hall of Fame running back and NFL MVP as well. And he was a civil rights activist and was in quite a few movies as well. He was 87 years old. Jumping to June now. June 7th, the Iron Sheik passed away. Anyone that's watched wrestling would know who the Iron Sheik is. He was 81 years old. Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, died this year, June 10th, apparently committing suicide at the age of 81 in prison. And then who can forget the implosion underneath the ocean on the way to the Titanic? On June 18th, Richard Stockton Rush, the third American businessman and co-founder and CEO of OceanGate, which was the company that made the submersible that killed him in an implosion. He was 61. Then, in June 29th of this year, Alan Arkin died. He's a Tony and Academy Award-winning actor. Who remembers the movie The Russians Are Coming, The Russians Are Coming, or Wait Until Dark, or Catch-22, or The In-Laws, or Little Miss Sunshine? He's one of those guys that was around when Mel Brooks was pretty popular. He was also a director, dies of heart failure at the age of 89. Tony Bennett died this year, June 21st. We all know him as a Grammy and Emmy award-winning pop and jazz singer. I left my heart in San Francisco. Sinead O'Connor passed away this year, July 26th. Nothing compares to you. She was 56. Pee Wee Herman died July 30th. His real name, Paul Rubens. August 4th, on this day, this year, August 4th, John Gosling, a British rock keyboardist with the Kinks, passing away at the age of 75. We have all heard the song Lola. And then August 23rd, Terry Funk, another wrestler, American Hall of Fame pro wrestler, on August 23rd, passing away. He was 79. Tough guy, too. And then everyone's favorite Russian, Yevgeny Prigozhin. Plane blows up on August 23rd of this year. The leader of the Wagner Group. He was 62. Bob Barker died August 26th. Oh my gosh, I forgot. He was 99 years old. He originally did the Truth or Consequences before he did The Price is Right, from 1956 to 1975. And he did The Price is Right from 1972 to 2007. He was also a big animal rights activist. Remember to get your pets spayed or neutered. Jimmy Buffett died September 1st. We all know Margaritaville, American country rock singer, songwriter, and restaurant entrepreneur. Margaritaville Cafe dies of Merkel cell carcinoma, a rare form of skin cancer. He was 76. Then September 1st, Gary Wright passed away this year. Anyone hear the song Dreamweaver? Well, that's him. He dies of complications from Parkinson's disease at age 80. Who remembers the man from U.N.C.L.E., Ilya Kuryakin? Well, September 25th, David McCallum passed away. He was also known as Ducky for many years on NCIS. 90 years old he was. Suzanne Summers, passing away on October 15th of this year. We all remember her from Three's Company. And don't forget, she dies of complications of breast cancer at the age of 76. She also promoted, or she was responsible for the Thigh Master. Back when they used to do those 20-minute workouts there, she came out with that little nifty exercise toy, the Thigh Master. Anyone remember that one? I do. And then we have Matthew Perry suffering a heart attack in a jacuzzi at age 54 on October 28th. He's actually Canadian. Matthew Perry from Friends. Chandler Bing drowns after a cardiac arrest in his jacuzzi. Let's go back to music. The band Kool and the Gang. The song Celebration. November 16th, George Brown, American R&B and funk drummer for Kool and the Gang, dies of lung cancer at age 74. And then Henry Kissinger died on November 29th, U.S. Secretary of State back in the 70s. He was 100 years old, died on November 29th. Then December 3rd, Miles Goodwin, Canadian rock guitarist, singer, and songwriter for April Wine. You Could Have Been a Lady. And record producer, dies at age 75. Norman Lear, passing away on December 5th. You may have seen that name on television. He's an American Peabody and Emmy Award-winning TV writer and producer for All in the Family, One Day at a Time, The Jeffersons, Maude. He's also a film director. Dies at the age of 101. Norman Lear. All right. Well, that wraps up that portion of On This Day in History. Let's see. It's 9:14 p.m. Let's see if anybody else is out there would like to check in with us on the year-end AREG net, this is VA3CJZ. Please come now.
VA3CJW.
Okay, I think I heard Chris in there. VA3CJW, come on in.
Yeah, VA3CJZ, VA3CJW. Good evening, Chuck. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. They're going to need something to drink, take a sip of something here soon. Doing a lot of talking, but having loads of fun. It's the last AREG of the year, and I'm really glad you checked in.
Yeah, I was out earlier. I don't want to miss my fitness activity. A little bad.
All right. Well, you're coming in a little bit choppy there. It seems like your signal is going up and down, but when it's up, it's good. When it's down, it's not. Whereabouts are you?
I'm home in Burlington, but
Well, Chris, you dropped right down in the mud there. I don't know if you moved your pizza tray or cookie sheet there, but is there anything you can do to try to fix that?
can you copy me at all now, Chuck?
Oh my goodness, that's the best signal. So don't move. You're at an S7 and good audio right there.
Okay, well, I'm sitting inside the car now, so I'll sit tight for a minute. Did you mention in deaths this year Tommy Smothers of the Smothers Brothers today?
No, I did not. What, that happened today?
Yeah, I believe I saw it first thing this morning that he actually passed away today. Tommy Smothers, famous from the Smothers Brothers.
Yeah. Oh no, I know it well. I mean, that's back in the days of Laughing and stuff like that. Very, that's sad. But all those folks are getting older, like all of us. Well, that's sad news to hear. But thanks for adding that to the list, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely, Chuck. I'm going to stand by here in a minute and just continue to listen. One other thing, does anybody out there know, you were mentioning the Metal Arc Lemon and the Harlem Globetrotters. Does anybody know the name of the Harlem Globetrotters theme song?
Oh, that whistling theme song?
Sweet Georgia Brown.
That's the one. Anybody know the name?
I think Wade and VA3NCA. Go ahead.
VA3CJZ, VA3NCA, and I think that's ZJC there. Yeah, Sweet Georgia Brown, if I'm not mistaken.
That's Chris. That's VA3CJW. Yeah, VA3CJW, Chris. And it says here Burlington. So, anyways, did you hear Wade there, Chris?
I couldn't hear him. I'm sitting in the car on my... What was it he said?
What was that? Sweet Georgia Brown there, Wade?
Yes, QSL, Sweet Georgia Brown, a jazz standard, and picked up by the Harlem Globetrotters. Harlem Globetrotters as their theme song.
So was that it, Sweet Georgia Brown?
QSL.
Okay, how about it, Chris? VA3CJW, did you hear me? Oh, we lost Chris. Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Whiskey, VA3CJZ, try.
Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Whiskey. I'm going to be standing by and listening, Chuck.
Okay, so were we right? Was it Sweet Georgia Brown?
Absolutely, QSL, absolutely. Sweet Georgia Brown team for the Harlem Globetrotters for many, many years.
Yeah, and Meadowlark Lemon played 25 years for them. Wow. Well, very good, Wade. VA3NCA, you get a gold star. All right. So thank you, Chris, for checking in. And by all means, listen along to us on the radio or on YouTube. For those of you just tuning in, we are streaming the net on YouTube. Just put in my call in the YouTube search box and listen to us there live tonight or under the title AREG week 1580. And we have Mark checking in with no call sign. Mark, just to check in. And you're also good with 7 p.m. Uh, come on back with the call sign there, Mark. And okay, so with that, let's see if anyone else is out there would like to check in with us on the year-end AREG net. This is VA3CJZ.
VE3 LBI.
VE3LBI. Larry, come on in. Welcome.
Yep, thanks, Chuck. Just got here. Just picked up a little piece about the Sweet Georgia Brown. Yeah, that was the Globetrotters.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as soon as I would hear the first 2 seconds of that tune, I knew right away.
Oh, yeah, and as soon as they were on, that was one of the things I always watched back in the day. Been a few years now, but yep, I was watching the Harlem Globetrotters. They were just an excellent team and a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, and they did so much for kids as well. They used to do these shows were mostly, for underprivileged kids and that. So they were very good for their community, for the communities all over the U.S. And they came to Canada, I do believe, a couple times.
Never had the opportunity to see them live, but a lot of it on TV. And I'll tell you, some of them were absolutely fantastic basketball players. Just watching them. I don't know how good they would have been out there on the field, but I think they probably would have done a little kicking.
Yeah, I mean, if they were on the NBA roster, it makes you wonder, eh? Those some of those guys were just outstanding players.
Well, I forgot the one guy's name, but I remember talking about it, thinking about it. He had a hand, and it would fit over top of the actual basketball. I don't remember what his name was, but anyway. All right, that's enough of that. Carry on. I'm sure you got some more news tonight and stuff like that, so I'll let you pass it back to you, and I'll be listening along here. VE3LBI.
All right, Larry. Well, VA3 NFL Al earlier asked me if I could start the net at 7 o'clock, and I was thinking maybe during the winter months I may try it. But I'm doing a survey first, wanting to see who prefers the 8 o'clock as opposed to the 7 o'clock. What's your choice there, Larry? To start time.
Kind of neutral. I'm used to it 8 o'clock, but I guess it's up to it's up to you and the however you feel, and how you feel about the majority rule.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. All right, so there's a lot of things to consider. I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to do it. I might do it once or twice to test it out, but there is the Burlington net at 7:30 that kind of would be pulling away a few people to go there. And my time schedule, I've been doing this at the same time now for going on 6 years, and I don't know. I'm just doing a survey for now.
Yep, I was asked the same thing basically for Friday night, and I said no. 8 o'clock, that's it. So that was my. not my net. It's when I started. Like I said before, you don't have a net. You have to have the people for the net to make the net. But I was asked that question myself about starting at 7 o'clock on Friday night. I said, no, it'll be at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, very good, very good. People on the other end, it's no big deal for them. They just tune in an hour earlier. But to do a net involves a lot of things, and like I mentioned earlier, there's considerations and that. But I was thinking maybe for a few months during the winter months. But like I said, it's just a survey for now, and I'll decide. Thanks for your input, Larry.
Yep, not a problem, Chuck. All right, like I said, I'm neutral. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. Again, like I said, I mean, you just started. People follow along, so I'm sure they'll follow whatever time frame you put in there. Anyways, that's it. That's my opinion. Nobody else's, and that's all there is. So, all right, Chuck, I'll pass it back to you.
Okay, very good, Larry. That's exactly right. Okay, then. And so with that, Larry, you're check-in number 16 tonight, including several people on the YouTube stream. So thanks again. And with that, let's see if anyone else is out there would like to check in with us here on the year-end Amateur Radio Exchange Group Net. This is VA3CJZ. Please come now.
VA3CJW recheck.
VA3CJW, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, Chuck. Just jump in there and piggytail on what you guys were talking about. I think the player he might have been thinking of is Curly Neal, or Curly O'Neill, one of the other famous globetrotters from years ago.
Yes, and if I'm not mistaken, there was more than one Curly.
Yeah, I believe you're right. As the years went on, they changed. But the funniest thing about Curly was, of course, he was absolutely bald.
Yeah. So they could just grab any basketball player, shave his head bald, and call him Curly.
Yeah, hi. I just figured I'd jump in with that comment. Curly Neal was the other one that was really well known back in particularly the 70s, I guess, and early 80s.
Yeah, absolutely. Loved watching them. And by the way, you jumped up to S9 Plus, actually. Very good where you are right now, Chris. So try and remember where everything is set up there. You're coming in great now.
QSL, Chuck, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I'm where I want to be to reach the net. It's just that I had to move the cars around to help some other people in the house. So I didn't want to miss my chance to check in and be a part of the AREG net again this week. Anyhow, I will be standing by listening for the rest of the net. Thanks. VA3CJZ, VA3CJW.
All right, very good. Thanks again, Chris. Very good then. Okay, so listen, earlier I mentioned our friend that moved to the Philippines there, Sean, VA3AKI. He's saying that the average temperature is 25 degrees where he lives in the Philippines there. So, but they get plenty of rain during the monsoon seasons there in Asia, all over Asia. And so, yeah, very good. 25. I'd take 25 degrees right now. All right. So with that, let's do one more call and see. You can hear him just fine, eh? Oh, very good, Sean. All right. So with that, is there anyone else out there I'd like to join us here on the AREG net? This is Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Zulu. Please come now.
Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Oscar Foxtrot.
Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Oscar Foxtrot. Damien, come on in and welcome to the year-end AREG net there. Just joining us now, or you've been listening for a while?
Yeah, thanks. No, I tuned in about an hour ago for 5 or 10 minutes, but had some other commitments, so
just out for a drive to try and pick some stuff up and just heading home. Over.
QSL there, Damien. Well, you're coming in at full strength here at the Center Mall. So good job, good audio and great signal. And so I trust you had a good Christmas.
Yeah, I actually came down with COVID the Tuesday before Christmas, so pretty much cancelled all my wife's Christmas plans with the catch up with the relatives, but recovered in time for Christmas Eve. So we had a quiet Christmas, but yeah, fortunately I was okay and got on the antivirals, which helped a lot over.
Right. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. But I am hearing a lot of radio operators that have also contacted or contracted some type of bug during this Christmas last week or so, or a couple of weeks there. So there is something going around. I did see in the on the news, on a news article somewhere, that for some reason that same place, Wuhan, China, is experiencing a large number of people getting sick with flu-like symptoms again. So, but there are several variants going around right now, so everyone is being told to get their flu shots. But it takes 3 weeks for those flu shots to take effect. And I remember one year getting the shot and getting sick like 2 weeks in. So right now it's a little bit late, but I don't know what to say. It's totally a personal decision. Um, but I usually get sick when I get a shot, so I don't take them anymore. Anyways, Damien, thanks again. I know you're busy driving, so I'll let you go. And I do appreciate your check-in, sir. Have a great rest of the week. We'll talk to you again soon. All right. Anyone else would like to check in with us here? Please come now. This is VA3CJZ. All right. Well, that means we have to go back to our list here. Let's see what else I've got. Okay, on this day. So we're done with the famous people passing away on this day, and let's go to the historical events. And then we have the, first off, we have the HMS Beagle departs. In 1831, on this day, the HMS, that's Her Majesty's ship, the Beagle, with Charles Darwin on board, departs England for a survey of South America. A voyage Darwin later said determined my whole career. Jumping to the year 1845, on this day, ether is used for the first time in childbirth in the United States, in the city of Jefferson, Georgia, 1845. And then in 1850, December 27th, the Hawaiian Fire Department is established. All right, I just had to throw this next one in there because it involves Montreal Canadien, but a little bit different this time. The year is 1897. The date is December 27th, and it's the Stanley Cup at Victoria Rink, Montreal, Quebec. The Montreal Victorias beat the Ottawa Capitals 15-2. Okay. Very good. All right, so let's jump to 1915 now on this day. United States iron and steel workers begin a 3-week strike in Ohio for an 8-hour day. I guess they were working much longer than 8 hours. And they are successful as the United States needs steel for armaments. This is shortly after World War I breaks out. This is in 1915. And in 1932, on this day, Radio City Music Hall designed by Edward Durrell Stone and Donald Desky, opens at Rockefeller Center in Manhattan, New York City. So, Radio City Music Hall opens in 1932. And the last emperor of Japan, Emperor Hirohito, evades assassination. On this day in 1932, Emperor Hirohito of Japan narrowly evades an assassination attempt by a Korean independent activist, Lee Bong Chang. Oh, they got such cool names, those Asians, eh? All right. Next, we have the renaming of Persia. Persia becomes renamed as Iran. And on this day in 1934, Shah of Persia, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, declares Persia is now Iran. There you go, 1934. Next, we have Mae West gets banned. In 1937, on this day, Mae West performs an Adam and Eve skit that gets her banned from NBC Radio. You're going to have to look that one up and listen to it. Interesting. All right, and in 1937, on this day, the very first American ski mobiles come out in New Hampshire. They get lots of snow in New Hampshire. Hey, George, are you listening? Where's your buddy Dougie from New Hampshire? George, are you still there? VE3GBD, VA3CJZ. You there, George? All right, so let's move on. In 1945, on this day, the World Bank was created with the signing of an agreement by 28 nations. World Bank, so all the elite people that run the world are involved in the World Bank. That's my conspiracy theory. Okay, let's jump to 1947 on this day. The first Howdy Doody show on Puppet Playhouse is telecast on NBC. On December 27th, 1947, Howdy Doody made his television debut on Puppet Playhouse. Howdy Doody was one of the first TV programs made for children and produced in color in 1954, I think it was. And Howdy Doody had freckles. Now, there's a little bit of trivia. He had 48 freckles for the amount of states there, the United States, before they got Alaska and Hawaii. Didn't know that. Next, we have the Supremes on the Ed Sullivan Show on this day in 1964. The very first appearance of the Supremes on the Ed Sullivan Show, singing Come See About Me, featuring Diana Ross. I think a lot of people know who she is. And next we jump to 1974 on this day. Dear Abby show ends run on CBS Radio after 11 years. So Dear Abby was on the radio. Didn't know that. I did know there was... I used to read Dear Abby in the weekend newspaper. I know there was a article, people complaining about their husbands and whatnot would write to Dear Abby. Okay, let's jump to 1978 now. Spain becomes a democracy after 40 years of dictatorship as King Juan Carlos ratifies Spain's first democratic constitution. 1978. 1979, soap opera Knots Landing premieres on CBS TV. And here's a good one. In 1981, on this day, Edmonton Oiler Wayne Gretzky becomes the fastest NHLer to get a 100-point in a season. It took him 38 games, with 4 goals and an assist in 10-3 win over visiting Los Angeles Kings. That's when he got his 100th point. Okay. I don't know if any of you know this, but I wasn't around in 1983. But in 1983, on this day, propane gas fire devastates 16 blocks of the city of Buffalo. Anyone remember that?
I do.
Is that you there, Thomas? Yeah, I was traveling back in the 80s.
Yeah, I don't remember much about it, but I did hear about that. Yeah, that was devastating.
Yeah, somebody was probably freebasing some cocaine and caused an explosion. I know that happened on Barton Street here near Walter Street, or near what's that? Strathern. A house blew out the basement windows in an apartment when they were trying to do something with drugs. That was 15, 20 years ago, somewhere around there, maybe 15 years ago. Well, thank you for that, Tom. At least one person remembers that a little bit. All right. 1987. I don't know if some of you remember this gentleman, but Steve Largent sets an all-time NFL record for career catches when he catches his 752nd pass. I remember the name Steve Largent. Next, we have Harry Connick Jr., caught with a gun. On this day in 1982, American jazz singer and piano player Harry Connick Jr. is caught with a 9mm gun in New York City's JFK airport. What a dolt. All right, we're almost done there, folks. Next, we have Lemieux's return. On this day in the year 2000, Pittsburgh Penguins center and part owner Mario Lemieux scores a goal and 2 assists in his return to the NHL after more than 3 years out with injury problems and lingering cancer issues. Didn't know he had cancer. Penguins beat Toronto Maple Leafs 5-0. No surprise there. And next we go to the year 2004. And we have radiation from an explosion on the Magnetar SGR. There's a bunch of numbers. On the Magnetar SGR that reaches Earth. It is the brightest extrasolar event known to have been witnessed on this planet back in 2004. Last one on my list here, and we'll stay with space. In 2012, NASA unveils plans to capture a 500-ton asteroid in the year 2025. And so that wraps up on this day and all the other fun facts that I brought to you. And I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did researching it and retelling it to you all. Some of it gave me a chuckle, that's for sure. And so do we have any questions or comments on anything I've said here? Or are there any new check-ins? Please come now.
VA3 CJZ, VA3 MCA. Chuck, about that propane explosion in Buffalo, do you recall about, I'm guessing, just over 10 years ago? I told guess. Do you remember Sunrise? That was a propane explosion in Toronto, much closer to home.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that Sunrise Gas Company had a big propane explosion in Toronto. Mind you, that wasn't an industrial area, so casualties were minimal compared to what they could have been.
Yeah, that's right. That's how I remember it. I think I was visiting my dad in Whitby at the time, Pickering, I guess. Pickering? Yeah. Explosions in Pickering tend to be a little bit more concerning to the residents, but I remember hearing about it. I don't know. That was the late 20s, I think. I'm trying to remember. It was over 10 years ago now, though, wasn't it?
Okay, sorry about the delay there, Wade. I believe you're right. Probably around 10 years ago ish.
Yeah, I just got a chance to Google it. 2008, Sunrise Propane in Mississauga. Fireball was visible from a long ways away, I guess. Illegal tank to tank transfer. Anyways, I don't know. I think my lights just went on my motion detector lights, and they always throw my noise floor into the ground, and so I've lost a good copy on you, but hopefully you're still hearing me. Anyways, I'll send it back to you. I just recall the big explosion in Toronto there, and it reminded me of that from the Buffalo story. They're back to you there, Chuck. V A3CJZ V A3NCA.
Yeah, very good then, Wade. Yeah, I completely forgot about that one. But the one in Buffalo destroying 16 blocks. Wow, that's a big one. But yeah, it's been 15 years already for the one in Toronto there. Gosh, time flies. Unreal, eh? Well, thank you for that, Wade. I do appreciate it. And so I'll let you go back to listening on the stream or on the radio, whichever. But thank you for checking in, sir. So let's go back up to the top of the list here. We'll do a 7-3 round and see if George is back. VE3 Golf Bravo Delta. All right, so let's go back to Art. VE3 Kilo Charlie India for a 7-3 round. Art, you there?
Sure am. Getting a little tired, but I'm still here. And we haven't heard from your buddy BK yet.
Yes, that's 2 weeks in a row now. I don't know if he's got equipment issues or other pressing things, but that's okay. There are a few regulars that haven't showed up yet either, so it's understandable. It is the holidays, and they're probably just they'll check in next time. No big deal. Anyways, Art, well, thanks for sticking around. I almost put you to sleep once again. Sorry about that. Hope you were entertained a little bit tonight.
Well, I want to wish you and everybody else on the net happy holidays, and I want to wish everybody a happy New Year. And see a happy one out there, because I know this time of year, the weather could change from one moment to the next. And boy, did I ever get myself a good deal today. I went to the video store and I bought what they call it, the Red Scalp our in color, which is a very rare set to get this time life, and it's a 22 DVD set.
Oh my, good old Red Skelton. I used to love his show, as well as seeing him in movies and on various variety shows and that. Oh yeah, funny man right there. Well, Art, I do appreciate you sticking around and being with us on the year-end AREG net. Our next net will be on January 3rd. So I want to wish you a happy new year and a safe one there. Art, stay healthy, my friend. Don't go out anywhere. People are sick. Everybody's sick. But I'm not trying to tell you what to do. But anyways, thanks again, Art.
Yeah, like I say everybody have a safe and happy and healthy one. Stay safe on the roads, because I know it could be a little bit rainy 1 minute and it'll be icy the next. So just be on your P's and Q's out there, and hopefully soon maybe I can get these other radios up and running. Yeah, it would be nice, and start off the new year on the type of thing. And just to let you know, on this guest list for Red Skelton was John Wayne, Jackie Gleason, Johnny Carson, Jerry Lee Lewis, Joe St. John, Bill Burrell, Jackie Cooper, Tim Conway, Boris Karloff, Vincent Price, Simon Garfunkel, Phyllis Diller, Lou Rawls, Chris Griffin, Audrey Meadows, Vicky Rudy, Pleasant Ray, Jesse Russell, Robert Goulet, and Audrey Meadows, and Fernando Lama, and many, many more. It's hard to believe Red had good show going all that time, and I'll tell you one thing. I lucked out on this one. I got it for just under $100. It was a $200 set regularly.
Oh, well, there you go. Hours and hours of good old clean, fun entertainment. What stands out to me is Johnny Carson being a guest on the show there. So that's pretty cool. All right, Art. Well, I'm going to move down the list here, and I'm going to say thank you so much for joining us and sharing all that with us. I mean, and I hope you get your radios plugged in and turned on as soon as possible.
Yeah, and the other person I got to mention I haven't heard out there tonight just yet. So I hope everything's going good with her, and I'm going to go and sign off, saying good night to everybody and a happy new year. And old Red Skull saying goodbye for now, and may God bless. Take care of each and every one. This is VE3, Kilo Charlie India, signing out. Bye for now.
Okay, Art. Well, don't forget, a lot of people are visiting family for the holidays. And so that's very well what could be going on. And so it's no big deal. We'll hear them again soon. But anyhow, until then, take care. And we'll talk to you again soon, Art. And so we'll clear with VE3 Kilo Charlie India. And then let's go to Mac, Victor Alpha 3, Indy Mike Whiskey.
Well, as usual, Chuck, you've pulled off another wonderful net and lots of fun information. Certainly appreciate the reference to all the historic events. And it's a great way to spend time on a Wednesday night. And as we close in on the new year, I want to take this chance to wish everybody a very happy and safe new year. And I guess January 3rd, the next net, it'll be my first day back in the office. So I'll be looking forward to spending time with you folks again next week. 7-3's Chuck, and don't forget to put your garbage out tomorrow.
Yes, I was just going to fill that in. Tomorrow. No, not today. So that's good. Although we do have more garbage than usual, of course, because it's the holidays and there's extra stuff. And so I do thank you for joining us, Mac. And by God, you get another 6 days off. So good for you. Enjoy. And so, and by the way, I only managed to get one contact today, and it was a guy in Quebec doing a park. He wasn't even spotted anywhere. So, but I got him, but I wasn't able to get any other. Oh, by the way, for everyone listening, I need the state of Wyoming. So whether it's in a park or not on a park, if you see a call sign from Wyoming, drop me a message or put it on Discord or something. I just need that one state to get my 50.
Yeah, you need to put an additional alert in your ham alerts. Wyoming was one that I found a little difficult to get, and once I got it, actually got two of them in the same night. So I think there's 2 ham radio operators in the whole state, and you're kind of rolling the dice to make sure that they're online.
Yeah, a lot of cowboys and mountain people in Wyoming. Not too many ham operators. Yeah, like I haven't logged contact with that state ever since I've been a licensed amateur. So definitely elusive. But you know what? Same thing happened to me with, what was it, Japan and Hawaii. I got like 2 of them the same day from both places. One from the one from Japan and the one from Hawaii. I got like 2 contacts on the same day. Same with Japan. So yeah, get them while they're hot, I say. Because not everybody confirms also, right?
That's the truth. And once you get one, the the alert page will light up with a whole bunch of others that you can reach out and grab easily. And I know that when I was struggling for California, it was work, and work really hard for that first contact, and then all of a sudden, bang, 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 and they were easy. So yeah, keep up the good work there, Chuck. They'll come through.
Yeah, will do. Nah, but I, thought I'd put it out there in case someone sees that call sign WY, not to be mistaken with WI, Wisconsin. I got plenty of those, and so just throwing it out there, and maybe I'll get lucky. Still got what 4 days to go before the end of the year. We'll see what we can do. But anyways, yeah, and good luck, good hunting until the end of the year as well for everybody on POTA. Hope you reach your goals and then some. If not, it's a great way to spend time on the radio. It's like contesting. There's always a contest, but it's not a contest. We know that. But there's quite a bit of activity with POTA, so there's always something on the go. So thanks again, Mac. Anything else before I move along?
Biddy. That's all, folks.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Next on my list is, Al. I don't know if he's still there. Victor Alpha 3, November Fox Lima. Dinner bell and then sleepy time, I'm guessing. All right, let's go to Wade. Victor Alpha 3, November Charlie Alpha. 7-3 round, Wade.
VA3 CJZ, VA3 NCA, 7-3, Chuck, for this net and the new year, and to all on net as well. Hope your 2023 has been great, and the 2024 will be even better. And with that, let's see. I did want to say you had mentioned other items coming up in the ham world. Remember that Support Your Parks, POTA, is coming up for the winter time in weekend of January 20th and 21st of 2024. So that's the winter Support Your Parks. You get for a hunter contact, you get an award, and for an activator activation, you get an award on that weekend. And also, they have the New Year's week, an activation or a hunt in the first week of the new year, January 1st through 7th. We'll also get you a PDF award. So for those who collect, keep that in mind. And with that, I'll say 7-3, and thanks so much for doing it there, Chuck. And I will see you in a week and hear you, if not before. VA3 NCA, I'll be clear.
Okay, fantastic there, Wade. Thank you so much for sharing all of that information. And also, QRZ has their 12 Days of Christmas for 2023. Log in one contact for 12 days between December 1st and I think February 28th. You got plenty of time, and you'll get another reward from QRZ. And so, lots, and of course, the POTA is coming up next week. This weekend. The RAC Winter Field Day. I personally use the N3FJP software from Scott, and great software. If you get a chance, look that up, n3fjp.com, and you can see what they have there. Okay, so we'll clear with VA3 NCA and see if Scott is still there, see if his wife will let him key up again. VE3 Quebec uniform, 7-3 round. Scott? Oh, maybe not. Let's try Thomas. VE3 Charlie Echo uniform.
VE3 CJZ, VE3.
V3QU.
Right here to the end.
Stand by.
The net, Chuck, and yeah, it's amazing the amount of information that you come up with the history and birthdays and all that stuff. That's great. You do all that research. And thank goodness to have you to have that information for us. Nothing else from this end, and I wish you Happy New Year and all that stuff. And this radio is almost ready to die here. The battery's way down. And yeah, it's great to be able to communicate on a weekly basis at this time and have you there. Anyways, nothing else from this end, and you take her easy and you have yourself a good evening to you and everybody else. If don't hear from anybody else, have a great happy holidays and happy New Year.
Okay, fantastic there, Thomas. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us all this time, and I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. That's what I try and do is entertain. And so thanks for being part of the group, and you too have a great rest of the week and a happy new year. We'll catch you next week on January 3rd. And so we'll clear with VE3 Charlie Echo uniform, and I heard Scott in there. VE3 Quebec uniform. Come on in for the 7-3 round, Scott.
Yeah, we pecked away with the signal link a little bit more, and we seem to think that our final problem is that the radio might be in a memory mode. It might be in memory mode, so I got to take the radio out of memory mode and figure that part out. So right now I'm diligently reading the manual. So that's what I'm doing now for the 7-3 round, and just made it in there. You must be the ears to the city, because I'm not hearing. I am hearing about 7. I don't know. I'm hearing quite a few of the contacts in there, but I'm not quite hearing everybody. But as I say, you're also on the hill as well. Are you not? You're closer to Concession. Is that correct?
Well, Scott, I've got a little station down here by the Center Mall below the escarpment, and I'm using a 3-section tower with a 10-foot mast pole and a Diamond X200, and it seems to do well for me there, Scott. And so that's the deal with Simplex. Not everyone can hear everyone, and that's why I also stream the net on YouTube. And so if you like, after the net is over, you can play the whole thing back. For anyone who's interested, just put in my call sign, VA3CJZ, in the YouTube search, and you can find us there. Tonight's net is called AREG 1580. AREG Week 1580.
Okay, is that also available on the Facebook page as well?
Well, the Facebook has a AREG Facebook page. If you type in the top left search of Facebook, type in A-REG for AREG, and then you'll see a radio come up, and it'll say AREG and Radio Amateur Operators. That's the one. So you apply, and one of the administrators will let you in if you're not already in. But the stream is only available on YouTube.
Okay. So again, the link, just one more time, and I'll jot it down there.
For YouTube?
Yes, please.
Yeah, go to YouTube, and in the search bar, just put in my call. And when the page comes up, look for AREG Week 1580, 1580.
Okay, got it.
All right. Well, very good. And before I say goodnight, one thing you may want to look into that I know is a pesky little problem with computers is the ports. You have to make sure you have the right port configured. I know I went through that when I was using my rig control software, and I could not get the COM ports set up there. I had to go through all of them, and I finally got it to respond. So your COM ports might be giving you an issue. If there's any way to check that, do so.
Yeah, it is saying that there is an issue with COM port 1, but it is saying right now that the main problem is with the frequency, so it's having the trouble with the rig control. It's not seeing the rig control properly, so that's the huge part of the problem. Um, Whether it says it's seeing the signal link, but it wants to see the rig control first before it sees the signal link, I believe. So. Um, the other error that it was producing also, and but I'm not sure whether it's still producing it, is it was stating that the radio might be in a what do you call it? It might be in a memory mode. So that's what I'm going to do now is find out where the memory mode is and just turn that off.
Okay. Well, I don't know too much, or actually, I don't know anything about the DigiRig and so on. But my suggestion to you is go to YouTube University and look up videos on it, and it will help you immensely. So, without tying this up any further, there, Scott, I'm going to say thank you so much for joining us and sticking around. And I wish you a great rest of the evening and good luck with that.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. 73 and from VA3GFI and V3QU. Have yourself a good night.
QSL there. Say goodnight to Georgette for me. Thank you for the contact. It helps that in to the list. And so we'll clear with VE3QU and go to Steve, VA3NFG. Steve, are you there? Oh, I think I remember Steve saying he was one and done. Now it's all coming back to me. All right, then. And Vanya, too, I think was one and done. Well, let's give him a benefit of the doubt. Victor Alpha 3, X-Ray Lima, Juliet. Okay, so we've also got a few that were on YouTube. We've got VE3IUK. Bill, thank you so much for checking in. And then we've got Wayne in Mississauga, VA3 Fox Mike Bravo. And we got Sean, VA3 Alpha Kilo India in the Philippines on a Thursday morning. Thank you so much, Sean, for joining us. Thank you so much. And we'll catch you next year, maybe. Take care, my friend. Send all the best to the missus. And then next we've got Chris, VA3 Charlie Juliet Whiskey. 7-3 round. Chris, you there?
Yeah, sure am, Chuck. Question for you. Did you and your wife recover from that spout of illness you had?
Yes, sir, we did, but we found that it lingered for quite some time, 3 weeks maybe. My wife had more trouble shaking it off than I did. I healed up quicker, and it lingered with her. Meanwhile, she's supposed to be a lot healthier than I am. So, yeah, but we're over that now. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, good to hear. I know you said that you guys were struggling with it a little bit, but I'm glad to hear that you're over it. Couple quick things before I give you my 73 for the night. First of all, you were mentioning a couple different times about pancreatic cancer. Don't know whether you know this, but Eric Idle of Monty Python fame, Eric Idle from Monty Python, is a pancreatic cancer survivor and has done a fair amount recently, especially to make people aware about pancreatic cancer. The issue with it is that it's really a silent killer. A lot of times people don't catch it early enough to do something about it. But one of the things he shared is that it's a really simple blood test to have done. So, when you're going to see your doctor, you look into having them do the blood test for pancreatic cancer just to make sure that everything's okay. Because if you catch it early, it's survivable.
Yes, well, that's what they say about most cancers. There, Chris. If you find out sooner, it's much better. But me being diabetic, speaking of pancreatic cancer, my pancreas don't make insulin anymore, so I have to take insulin with that. So my blood gets checked every 3 months now, and so I'm not sure they check for the cancer, but nonetheless, something to think about mentioning to my diabetes nurse next time I speak with her. So thank you for that information there, Chris.
Yeah, no problem, Chuck. Sorry to hear that you're diabetic. I am as well. Fortunately, at this point, I'm not on insulin. I'm just controlled with other medications. So I can relate to what you're going through. I have a dear friend who's been diabetic for many years, longer than I have, and he's also on daily insulin. So, but yeah, I do regular blood work as well. Moving on from that, I just wanted to say congratulations, Chuck, on another year well done and another year in the books for the AREG net. For the AREG net, let me focus my words. You do a great job. You're here week in and week out, and you certainly keep us entertained with your fun and your facts. And so, congratulations on another year well done and in the books for the AREG net.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Chris. That means a lot. I do appreciate everyone I speak to, and it's fun doing it, and that's the key. I really enjoy amateur radio, and there's still so much still left to explore in the hobby, and doing the net is only part of it. And I got to tell you, I get a blast doing it, especially since I started doing the on this day and so on. It kind of breaks up the monotony of just going round and round, uh, like a round robin all the time. Not everybody has a lot to say. And so this keeps people listening and keeps them hanging on to the net a little bit without having to say too much. And so it's a different format, and seems like a lot of people like it. And so we're going to continue on until it doesn't work anymore, I guess. But I do thank you for the compliment. And so I wish you and your family health and happiness and a happy new year there, my friend.
Thanks very much, Chuck, my friend. I appreciate it. And same to you and your household, friends and family near and far. All the best wishes for a successful and most of all, a healthy 2024. Look forward to probably checking in with you next week. Until then, 73 Chuck, VA3CJ Wolf from VA3CJW.
Okay, very good. Thank you again. So let's go back to our list, and we're almost done. Next, we have Larry, VE3LBI. Larry, come on in.
Still here, Chuck. Listen along. And, yep, thanks for doing it. I'm not sure who's going to be following me here, but I think I was a little bit, well, obviously they know I'm late on Wednesday nights all the time, so just because of the live stream on YouTube, they're like to watch. Other than that, good night, and anybody wants to follow along, the last one will be on the ZOE Reg 2 will be Friday night at 8 o'clock before the new year. So, and I guess your next one, Chuck, will be in the new year.
Yeah, that's right, Larry. Very good. Everyone, don't forget, Larry has the Rag Chew, the last net of the year, except for maybe the Hamilton Amateur Radio Club. Next Monday will be on. They missed this week because it was on Christmas. And so maybe drop in, say hi to Rick and the gang on Monday, but definitely we'll stop in and say hi to Larry and the rest of the gang on Friday at 8 p.m. on the ZOE repeater, 443075. Thank you so much, Larry. I don't know if our next person is going to be available, so you might have the last word. Well, actually, I will, but Thanks, Larry. All the best to you and the missus, my friend. We'll talk to you soon. And so we'll clear with VE3LBI. And I know Damien was our last caller, but he was mobile. So let's see if he's home or not. Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Oscar, Foxtrot. Okay, nothing heard. So let's see if anybody wants to be last minute check in with us here on the year-end Amateur Radio Exchange Group, AREG. My call is Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Zulu, and my name is Chuck, and I'm located here by the Center Mall in East Hamilton, below the escarpment. Anyone, anywhere, please come now.
Victor Echo 3, November Whiskey, mobile.
There he is, the man about the hour. Victor Echo 3, November Whiskey Mobile. Arpad, come on in. Whereabouts are you?
I'm up by the Home Depot at Stone Church and Red Hill area, and just hanging out here. I was listening for the last maybe an hour even. You did a good net. I did hear you perfectly fine using a handheld 5-watt rubber ducky antenna in the vehicle. So probably not that. Well, I'm high up here, so but I don't want to drag it too long because you're already in overtime.
Oh, that's okay, Arpad. It's the last net of the year, or AREG net, I should say, of the year. So no worries there. I don't have to take a pit stop break just yet, but it's a pleasure having you join us, Arpad. I'm glad you're coming in around 15 to 20 over. Well, you know I have a generous meter, but nonetheless, that's awesome for a handheld in the vehicle by where? Stone Church and where?
Stone Church and Red Hill. Red Hill, you know where Home Depot is, and I turned that down to 100 milliwatts, 1/10 of the watt. Can you able to hear me?
Recheck.
Yeah, recheck. Stand by 1 second. Arpad, your audio kind of got really crisp, kind of punchy, and your signal might have gone down 1 bar. So stand by 1 there, Arpad. Go ahead there, Scott.
Yeah, thanks. Arpad, you're punching the heck out of the meter here. Before you changed the power, you were doing about 60 plus over 9, and then you turned your power down a bit, and you went down to about 30 over 9. And you know where I'm located. I'm at Ottawa and Lime Ridge, so your signal's doing fine over here, Roger.
Oh, lost you.
Poor power.
Okay, so when he bumped it down there, he went down to about S5. He's lots of bacon. Back to net.
Yeah, actually, Scott, you were keying on top of Arpad while he was still talking there, and I was also getting him peaking at S5, but most of the time was about S3, S2. You copy that, Arpad?
Yeah, Roger that, and back to 5 watts, and it's good to test out the power levels, especially with the handhelds once a while, because in a case of an emergency, probably that's what you would want to do. Use the lowest power as possible, so save the battery.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why it's good to use Simplex to find out exactly what capabilities you have in case of an emergency. You know what works best and what doesn't work as well. So, yeah, very good then.
Chuck, thank you very much to running the net and what you've done all year, and do appreciate it. And I'm pretty sure we'll on Thursday. I'm running the net on Thursday on the Simplex one. 73, and you guys have a good night.
Okay, Arpad, that's right, everyone. Don't forget, tomorrow at 7 p.m., go to 446.125 and check in with Arpad with the Lake Ontario West Amateur Radio Club net. Again, 7 p.m. on 446.125. Thanks, Arpad. Do appreciate your check-in, sir. Take care. Have a great rest of the evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow for sure, 7 p.m. And so with that, let's see if there are any other last-minute check-ins for this week's Amateur Radio Exchange Group. This is VA3 CJZ, looking for anyone, anywhere. Okay, nothing heard. So that wraps it up for another successful edition of the AREG Net Amateur Radio Exchange Group. It is 10:19 p.m. and currently 6.5 degrees Celsius outside my place. Outstanding. Okay, folks. Well, that's it. Time to put a bow on it. But we'll be here next week, which is next year. Same bat time, same bat channel. I hope to hear you all then. Until then, we had 18 check-ins tonight, including all the check-ins on YouTube. And thanks, everyone. It's been a blast. Take care. Stay safe. And Happy New Year if I don't speak to you until then. This is Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Zulu, saying 7-3 and so long. Good night.
VE3QU. Can I just get Arpad's frequency for his net for the LOWRC there?
Yes, sir. It is 446.125. Simplex tomorrow at 7 p.m. 446.125.
I've got it. Thank you.
Okay, not a problem. You know what I do with some of these nets? I enter them in the calendar on my phone, and it sends me a reminder 10 minutes before the net. That way I don't forget. So something to think about. Anyways, with that, 7-3 all, VA3 CJZ.
I think you just read my memory because that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing it through my computer screen, but everything that's on my computer automatically gets sent to my watch and also to my cell phone. So great thinking. V3QU. Thanks a lot. Thanks for doing the net, and we'll see you next year.
Okay, Scott, and good luck with your recent endeavor with the DigiRig. All right, I'm out. I'm going to take a break, and I'll be listening when I return. VA3 CJZ.
If I don't commit Harry Carey first. It's getting there, though. Tom says if I don't get it working tonight, he's going to pop down tomorrow, and we're probably going to take another attack at it again. But we'll get it going. All right, 73, and thanks again for doing the net. V3QU. I'll probably be clear back to the repeater.
Just one more place to look if you forget. Thanks for doing it there, Chuck, and 73 to all. I'll be clear. Be at the end.
That was a big double, Wade.
Yeah, Wade, go ahead and repeat that. That was a double with Scott.
Oh, sorry about that. To all listening still, there's also a list of nets on the local nets channel on the Discord, the Hamilton POTA Group Discord channel. So if you're looking for the list, we try to maintain it there as well. Just one more source of info for the net schedule for those interested.
Okay, Wade. Well, that time you came through, but somebody was also doubling underneath you. I wonder if that was Scott again.
QSL. I'm not sure if I'm clear, but I'll just say last time that local-nets channel on the Hamilton POTA Group Discord, we try to maintain the schedule there for everybody's reference. If anybody finds an issue with it, or if the schedule changes, then let us know, and we'll be sure to update the pinned note, VA3NCA.
All right, very good, Wade. Thank you so much. So the schedule is on Discord on the local nets hashtag there, I think it is. Thanks, Wade. I'm going to clear out of here. 7-3 all, VA3 CJZ.